crawl into this huge fire ant hill.
Oh no!
And look down, and there's thousands, and that's not exaggerating.
No.
Thousands of fire crawling up my sleeve, all over my body. And you can go to our Facebook page, see the photos and some videos. But I got 8 alive.
Oh no!
So how do you like hunting in South Carolina now?
Welcome to episode 75 of the Whiskey and Whitetails podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Matt.
And today we have special guests from Trekin Outdoors,
Chris and Tyler.
and we're going to talk about a little recap of the turkey tour,
Yeah.
turkey season.
You guys have
How
been
that
heavy
went?
traveling.
Yeah, 22 first turkey tour. We went to a couple different states and recap that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds good to us. And as you know, you can find us at whiskeyandwhitetails.com and all over social media at Whiskey and Whitetails. You can also go to patreon.com/Whiskey and Whitetails and join the community and be part of the inside scoop on the things that we do. Today, we are sipping on a single barrel store pick from Dante's Spirits in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. This is an Old Scout 57.6%, which is 113-ish. Proof age 6 years, but the reason this bottle is important is because there's some Patreon members, 6 in total, that'll be getting this bottle. So we're going to do a little pop and top and talk about it as we talk about hunting. Oh, you first, Gus.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, my friend. Are you guys sipping on anything over there?
No, we're just staring at the wall.
Just staring at the wall, huh? Next time.
Yeah, we're in a man's room right here.
Yeah, I see that. Are those shotguns?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Nice.
Is this the Trekin Outdoors armory?
We wish. Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. So how many states did you guys hit?
We hit 4 different states, and obviously you guys just mentioned South Carolina. That was our first state that we hit. Uncle Steve and myself went down there, and we both ended up filling our tags. I don't think we've ever talked about this before, but we had quite the incident down there. Steve had filled his tag before me, and when it was my turn to get up and harvest a bird, we were reaping the same bird for I think 2 days.
Wow.
The first day, 100 yards to get after him, and he ended up busting me when I closed the distance to about 80, and I was sweating like a stuck pig out there. And we walked a lot, and the next day we ended up finding that same bird midday, and it's like 84 degrees outside. And Steve and I made the decision that we're going to go through the backside of the swamp and try cutting them off. And we laid there for about 45 minutes, and he kind of bedded down in a shaded area. And Steve looked at me and he's like, "You ready to go after him again?" And I'm like, "Here we go again. I got to do this crawl one more time." And so I start crawling, and my eyes are fixated on him because I got the fan in front of me, shotgun in one hand, and he's full fanned out, coming right at me, and my eyes are fixated on him. Meantime, crawl into this huge fire ant hill.
Oh no!
Look down, and there's thousands, and that's not exaggerating.
No.
Thousands of fire crawling up my sleeve, all over my body. And you can go to our Facebook page, see the photos and some videos. But I got 8 alive.
Oh no!
So how do you like hunting in South Carolina now?
Just fingertips to the middle part of my forearm. I had over 100 bites, and I'm still healing my wounds today. I got scars
Yeah.
all over my forearm and arms from getting bitten. I'm getting 8 alive, and the bird came in, and I'm like, I either move and blow this whole thing or just take it, and took it like a man, honestly, and ended up harvesting that bird. And yeah, that was the beginning of the turkey tour. And man, we were off to a fiery start.
No kidding.
That's rough, dude. They're bad out here. My feet, I have scars all over my feet from them because just standing, like doing yard work or whatever, standing around flip flops, and you feel something, you look down, there's 4 or 5 of them crawling up your flip flops, and it's just they get you. They're rough down here. It's tough hunting in this heat in that swamp. It's the swamp makes it worse.
Yeah, the heat is no joke down here. And South Carolina is really, really weird because the weather that time of year can be one thing or another. You know, you can get up in the morning and need thermals on and a jacket to get through the morning, but then by the afternoon you're, sweating trying to take off layers and you know, then the next morning there's frost on the ground and it's just really unpredictable.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tyler unfortunately wasn't able to go on.
I wasn't.
Most of these trips, you know, so he's kind of like, what do I talk about? You know?
So backstory, we live in Traverse City, Michigan. We just bought a house. So I kind of took like the last month off of just pretty much everything that I do, my own business and filming with Chris here. So yeah, I missed out on a lot of those adventures for sure.
Yeah, but you know, if he was with us in South Carolina, he probably would have came up with something like, you know, you got bit everywhere else, but you couldn't have gotten bit on the balls or something. You know?
Yeah, there's plenty of things to bite you down here, that's for sure.
That's one of the things. There's a swamp here called Hellhole Swamp, and that's where the moonshiners used to set up, like in the early 30s and 40s. And they used to say that the reason it was a safe place to go because there's more things in Hellhole Swamp that'll kill you than the rest of the world. But it's like everything that lives there will either bite you, sting you, or shoot you. So nobody would ever go in there.
So what was next after South Carolina?
We went back home and I'm getting ready for the opener in Michigan, and Uncle Steve actually headed down to Iowa while the Michigan season was opening. And he went down there and he harvested a really nice bird out there. And then I decided that I went out with my son actually the first time. He's 7, and we had a good encounter with some birds, just couldn't close the distance. And then about a week later, I literally, I told myself, we're part of the turkey tour here, but I want to just go out one day just by myself, no cameras, just to, be relaxed, and
yeah,
craziest hunts by myself. Hunting, actually the craziest one, I think, besides getting bit by the ants, but hunting by myself for a time. I sat on this fence row and I had this burlap over me, this camo netting, and I decided to just drape it over me and just sit there and start chirping and calling. And I ended up having an encounter with 3 toms, really, really big toms, about the same size that Tyler and I shot last year when we doubled up, but they closed the distance from over 300 yards, and I had to lay down on the ground. I put the camo netting over me, and I ended up harvesting a nice bird there. And
nice.
Yes, at that point we had 3 birds down in South Carolina because Tyler's one of his family members was there, and then Iowa we had 2 birds down. Uncle Steve was with his nephew, and they doubled up.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a bird in Michigan, so it was off to a great start within the first couple weeks. But
he didn't film the bird in Michigan, so I think he's just lying. I don't think.
That's what they say.
That's funny.
Is this all stuff that's going to go on the show?
Yeah, majority of pretty much all of it. Yeah, it's going to be in our season 2.
You have like 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, Tyler probably say, it's probably the worst 2 because he wasn't filming. But
Exactly.
Nice. We when I texted you the other day, you said something about Waypoint. Are you guys working with them as well?
We thought about it for the future up here, but we haven't made any decisions yet.
Yeah, it's up in there right now.
Yep. So
we just signed with Waypoint, and we'll be podcast. The audio only version is up there, but it's a pretty good opportunity. They seem like really cool folks, and they're responsive really quick.
Yeah, we're trying to do multitude of things, and we're gonna see what the future holds, and we might branch off and do obviously network and them and something else. We're constantly brainstorming ideas, so
yeah,
we'll see.
That's the move, man. That is the move. So what was the next state you filmed in?
After that, Steve came back home and hunted a few times. He still actually has his tag, and he still has a couple days to fill his tag. So we actually have another guy that's, able to harvest one more bird in Michigan. It ends at the end of the month here. So
they'll make it 10 if you did, right?
Yeah, they'll make it 10 birds. I ended up hooking up with guys I went to school with, played football with. They have a YouTube page called TKZ Outdoors. And Ryan and his brother Donnie, we all decided we're going to pack up, take 3-4 days, go to Wisconsin. And let me tell you, when we got there that first morning, it was 92 degrees. We got outside we stayed at a hotel, got outside, we walked out, we're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Were you a stuffed pig again?
Stuff, yeah. But we hunted Wisconsin. I think we did about 7.5 miles of literally walking, calling. And we were in the northern part of Wisconsin, so we were a lot of rolling hills, and so what happened was that first day, we had a really good encounter. We had 5 toms side by side coming at us.
Nice.
From hill in the first thing in the morning, and they're coming. We're like, all right, this is gonna happen so fast. and they just decided they were just something they didn't like. I don't know if it was the decoys or what, but they veered off and went off up into the woods there. And so we ended up hunting the rest of that day. The second day, we hiked all over the place. We were, trying to find birds. We were encountering a bunch of hens. And an hour before last light, we're like, all right, let's hike it back. So we're hiking back, and we're coming over this hill, and we're looking up, like walking up, and Donnie's like, there's a head right there. And everyone just froze. And so we're like, stay still, stay still. And we're like, once that bird drops his head, at the point we only see one bird. Once he drops his head, then everybody's gonna get down. So the bird dropped his head. There's 4 of us. We had 2 cameramen, two shooters. Everybody dropped to the ground. I scooted up, and the one guy had the fan in his hand, and I got to the right, and all of a sudden we see another head. So I'm yelling back at Ryan. I'm like, hey, get up here, get another gun up here. So he goes to the left side. So I got Ryan, Catlin in the middle with a fan. I'm to his right, and I got Ryan's brother Donnie behind us with camera GoPro. Birds over, and we're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, boom, we're shooting. So Tyler and I had this happen to us last year. It's same gun actually. This gun's notorious. It's it's just never always forward. You always got to check it. So 1, 2, 3, boom comes. Ryan shoots. Boom. I actually end up having a misfire. So I'm racked another one in there, dropped my bird, and that was our first 2 birds in Wisconsin. So
would you say that turkey hunting with all the different types of hunting that you guys do and try to film with multiple people, would you say that turkey hunting is the most challenging with the larger number of people trying to move around, because they see so well, they see everything?
Absolutely. Yeah. Trying to move cameras around. Yeah. So we have like camo netting over the camera and just trying to conceal ourselves as best we can. But in that instance, we're literally walking in the open field and just seeing the top of one of the Tom's heads. And yeah.
Just got lucky, but you saw the top, because you came too much further, they would have seen you.
They're walking right at each other, just like up the hill, just like that. And yeah, it happened so fast, and boom, 2 birds. And fast forward the last day, we hunted 2 more days after that to fill our 3rd guy's tag. Last day, he ended up harvesting a bird. Was reaping for him and got him in the last hour, and we packed up and headed home.
Nice. Did you guys make it to Kentucky at all this year?
We didn't, not for turkeys, no.
I did.
What? Were you successful?
I was, yeah. That was the
point. Matt shot his first turkey this year.
My first turkey.
So it was very exciting.
He shot his first one last year.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I've been deer hunting for a while, but I always liked fishing. So springtime, mahi. But he always brags about how fun it is, and I've heard a ton of people say if you like duck hunting, you will love turkey hunting. So I went with him once here to show me the ropes, and I was like, wow, you really do just call them in, and they will come to you, and then you shoot them. I was like, who would have known that it was that, because they were talk and response. And so, yeah, I went to Camp Hero in Kentucky outside of Lexington, and it was perfect, dude. Like, close the truck door, and so they were ready. And so we just walked down to the blind, set up in the blind. I set the camera up. I got the entire thing on film. And he came in just as he should, these 3 different calls. And as soon as he saw that hen, he walked right in. But he gave me a good tip. He was like, the hen, you want to kind of like where you think the turkey is, have the hen facing the other way. And then we had a fake Jake there that was kind of standing, like looking towards the hen. And so this Tom just kind of looked over, and I guess he was like, yeah, I'm gonna mess that dude up, and I'm gonna take his lady. And he did, because he just beelined it straight in. And it was perfect setup, perfect everything.
Yeah,
done before the sun came up. You got the rest of the day to drink bourbon.
You read the script. Yep.
Yeah, but it was pretty good bird. 1.5 spurs, 9 we say 10, but it's probably closer to 9-inch beard, and 22.5 pounds. So not bad for a first bird.
So will you do it again next year?
I believe so.
It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and I get just as much of a adrenaline rush. It's especially this year was my first time actually reaping for a bird in South Carolina, and that thing came right to me. And we can't do that in Michigan, and that was a pure adrenaline rush. That was That was awesome.
Yeah, when it's close quarters like that, and I mean, last year was my first bird, but trying to self-film and double up, I mean, more pressure than deer hunting for sure.
Yeah.
So what was the next state you guys went to? Because you traveled a bunch, right? How many states in total?
Just 4 states. We did South Carolina, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Michigan.
All right. And so I guess Iowa's what's next.
Yeah.
They doubled up in Iowa, and then we have 9 birds total on the ground, but Steve's got his tag left for Michigan, which is and he's trying to get it done with his bow. So he's got a couple days left, and hopefully he can fill his tag.
Nice.
That'll be cool. So what changed this year from last year as far as your setup or where you went or how you did things? Because you were not as successful last year, right?
Yeah, last year was that was like our first episode that we filmed, and I think we hunted in Michigan for 4 or 5 days turkey. And so yeah, it was just kind of new to us at the time, and not really sure what our schedule looked like for the year.
Yeah, and then Steve and I got together and we're like, hey, why don't we do a turkey tour this year? And it was kind of a last minute thing. We're like, all right, where can we go? And we had contacts in South Carolina, Iowa, Wisconsin. We're like, all right, let's do it. And we threw it together, kind of at the last, thing, and we ended up having a great turkey tour. It was awesome.
Which, if I recall, you guys did that with deer season too. You just threw it together last minute.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, we tried the majority of it, but we definitely moved some things around often. But this year we're a lot more organized, and we've got some awesome things ahead. So
last year it was typical for Chris to call me on a Friday, be like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, what do you mean? Want to go to Missouri?
That works.
Funny. Yeah.
So did you guys learn anything this year on your tour?
Let's say that one more time.
Did you guys learn anything this year on your tour that would help new hunters or people like me that's only been a couple times?
I mean, there's obviously in South Carolina, you can reap on private ground, but you can't reap on public ground. We found that out. I mean, that's just more of obviously a law, but I don't know, just staying consistent with getting after the birds. I mean, that second day we walked all over the place, and we did get down on ourselves, and we had the last hour of daylight. We're like, all right, let's hike it back, but it can happen at any point in time. Mm-hmm. So I guess the best thing I could say is if, you're feeling those doubts, just like deer hunting and any other type of hunting, it can happen in a split second and change the whole thing, Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And it was awesome.
So what is reaping? Is that when you fan?
Mm-hmm.
So you know why you can't do that here?
What's that?
Do you know why you can't do that here?
You can do it here, just not on
public land.
Yeah. Because people...
South Carolina, you can do it on, from what I understand, you can do it on private land. You cannot do it on public land.
Yeah, but do you know why we don't allow it on public land?
With other hunters involved?
Yeah, because people get shot in the face.
So, but you can't do it anywhere in Michigan. Wisconsin, you can. It's kind of weird. Maybe that's something to talk about in the future, but there's a lot of states, their laws, when it comes to pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. Laws they vary, and they're so different in many states. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. So what else you got for turkey season?
That's it. I mean, Steve's just got his tag to fill, and we're done. And then we're in Iowa actually right now, which physically in Iowa here, and we're doing some filming and taking some photos, and almost got caught in a tornado yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
We were just talking about tornadoes this morning.
Yeah. We so what will you guys transition to once this is done? You gonna start preparing for deer season, or what's next?
We were gonna be going to Florida, which we might still be going to Florida. We're kind of like back and forth on it right now.
Gotta get the dates right.
Right, yeah. Gotta get some things lined up. We were gonna go after some iguanas, some boars, and do some bow fishing.
Nice.
And then after that, it's Alaska.
Alaska.
Nice.
Are you going to do the fly-in deal?
Flying into Fairbanks and then renting a truck and driving 14 hours north.
Oh, okay. So, no, I meant like the people fly into valleys and get dropped off, and you can't hunt the same day you fly, so you got to stay the night and then.
Nope, we're flying in, and then we're going to rent probably a U-Haul and drive 14, 15 hours north, and yeah, we're gonna be there for 5 or 6 days to hunt, and then get back.
I think Chris met somebody at what, ATA?
Yeah, at the ATA show.
That talked about it, and he got Chris hooked, and then he driving 14 hours after Fairbanks. And
What are you going after?
Be new to us, but last year Colorado was the first for Tyler and I, and we're kind of like always trying to one up each other, but in this trying to one up ourselves on what we did last year. So Alaska's on the ticket.
Nice.
What are you going after in Alaska?
Caribou. Nice.
Yep.
Have you been caribou hunting before?
The first for both of us.
It sounds like fun.
Damn it, that's a blast.
but I don't know if crazy Uncle Steve's going or not, but he's kind of the guy that guided us around in Colorado. He's been there for 20 years. So I'm a little nervous about this one. Like if he doesn't go, then I'm relying on Chris, with Colorado is puffing on air up in 11,000 feet.
Yeah. So I wasn't the only one. Wasn't the only one puffing on air. But you can contest to how Steve was that first day.
Yeah.
We were going all over the place. He was trying to kill us the first day. Like, it's time to get acclimated. But we're walking up and down the for 15 miles.
Yeah, that elevation change can do a number to you for sure. It'll take a couple of days. It seems like when you go places like that, just when you're starting to get acclimated, it's time to go.
We didn't really give us that opportunity. We literally got to camp the next morning, boom, we hit it. And man, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just, hey, let's go walk these trails. Let's walk, kind of just sit around. Steve loves to walk everywhere. He's not a very he knows this.
Yeah.
He doesn't, want to just let's hang out here for a little bit. It's let's go explore as far as we can go.
That's funny.
And then, we end up having the best encounter we had in the meadow where we were sitting, just not going anywhere, you know. What's your game plan here, Yeah,
it's when I was in the Army, we went to Pikes Peak and did Pikes Peak. Like we landed the next day, we climbed Pikes Peak, and it was brutal. I mean, it's like because we live on sea level, and to go to one of the tallest peaks, and I don't know the tallest, but it's the tallest mountain I've ever been up, and it's you get to the top, and it's like you can't even see straight because the oxygen isn't coming into your brain.
Is that like 14?
I think it's 14.6 if I remember right.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's up there.
I could be way off. I don't know. That was a long time ago. That was before Afghanistan. I got some TBIs, so I don't know. Don't work like it used to. So after caribou, what's next?
I think we're heading out to Wyoming after that.
Yeah.
And do some whitetail hunting and pronghorn. So that's gonna be a fun one. I'm looking
with Devil's Tower, like near Devil's Tower.
Yeah, right by Devil's Tower. Yep.
That's a beautiful spot. Pronghorn's on our list.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to just be like, you know what? Let's just go do it. If we wanted to go, have you been two questions. If you've been pronghorn hunting before, yes or no? Second question, if yes, where would you recommend we go? We have someone that offered us a spot in Wyoming.
Nope, haven't been pronghorn hunting. This is our first for that too. We got back-to-back firsts for us to, start out the bow hunting, hunting season. So
cool.
Well, that'd be awesome. That'd be some good content
that
I'm looking forward to seeing. Oh, and while we're talking about content, tell everybody where they can find you on, not only social media, but also where to watch your show.
Horseman Channel on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We air a couple different times during the week on Monday mornings and in the middle of the day on Wednesday as well. But Wednesday night, 7 o'clock right after Meat Eater.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's a good spot, right after Meat Eater.
Yep.
Very cool.
Can't beat that. So do you have any tips for new hunters that are getting into it? Stuff that we may have not have mentioned over past episodes?
New hunters just getting into hunting.
I would just say, I mean, I'm fairly new.
Fairly new.
I wouldn't say I've been hunting my whole life. I mean, I kind of have been, but not a lot. I would just say being patient, like I would just get down on myself hunting with Chris when we didn't see something
Yeah,
and that would kind of ruin
minutes.
it, Yeah, get out of here. And that would kind of like leave a bad taste in my mouth for the day. And it, like, I don't know, it just put a rain cloud over me for the whole weekend while we were hunting. So I would just say be patient, because like you said, it can happen at any moment when you least expect it. Like, and it's those experiences that bring you back for sure.
I've got two things. So the first one is when you're with this guy and you're hunting, you don't see deer in the first 15 minutes. He's like, dude, there's no deer here. This place sucks. There's no deer here. It's just, if he's sitting above me and I'm sitting, and below him, I'm just thinking to myself, like, how can I be positive with this guy?
Get out of here.
But the second part would be to just be patient and be out there to just enjoy, clear your mind and just enjoy what God's provided for us and the opportunities that we get to actually go out there and be outdoorsmen and chase these animals. It's an awesome time.
Yep, for sure. That's one of we tell everybody there's healing in nature, and whether you're killing anything or not, just being out there and sitting in a tree or sitting behind a bush or whatever you're doing, laying on the ground, getting tore up by fire ants, just take appreciation for where you are and enjoy the experience, because not every time that you go, everybody thinks hunting is like, I just walk outside and kill stuff, but that's not how it works.
Practice. I mean, last year I had a couple prime time example, being patient, not only being patient with waiting on, the opportunity to happen, but being patient on your shot opportunities, all that stuff. I mean, I can honestly say, and everybody, should be like that. We're always going to be able to get better, learn from your mistakes, and, don't get down on yourself. Don't worry about what the next guy says. I mean, that should be always in one ear, out the other, I mean, you're your own person, mold yourself off of that and just be the best that you can be,
Yep. Good, very good advice.
So Tyler, how long have you been hunting?
I mean, as a kid, I hunted small game, but last year was my first for turkey. It was also my first for a real size deer. I like to say I went with Chris like 5-6 years ago, and he told me to shoot this deer late at, it was like right before I ended up shooting.
Yeah, it was like 25 minutes before. And he shot a nice doe.
And he told me to shoot this deer, and I don't know the size of the deer back then. Like, I didn't hunt deer when I was growing up. And we go get the deer, and it is the size of a dog. I mean, it was tiny. And so I come back and we at my house, and my wife comes out. She's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Oh, Tyler's here. What'd you get? 10 guys around my truck." And I lift up the tailgate, and they just laugh,
Yeah, so it's your first deer. It didn't matter.
So that was my first deer. But last year, I called my actual first real size deer. So I haven't been hunting very long.
So for all the people that are like, I've been hunting my whole life and I'm not on a TV show, what would your advice be for them to go from where you started to now being on a TV show?
Not all cut out is what it seems to be. If you think that it's, and by all means, if that's a dream of yours and you want to chase it, if you think it's, I feel like I get question from people is, oh man, I would, okay, yes, I'm sure they wish they could do it, which would be great, and have that opportunity. But in your mind, if you think, oh, we're just traveling around having fun and it's the easiest and best thing ever, like it is a full-time job.
Yeah, tons
of travel, tons of work. There's a lot of stressors that's involved, and if you're going to be pursuing it, you got to be 110% and be prepared for a lot. So
yeah, I think I counted up the days last year, and I didn't even go on as many trips. I didn't go to Kansas with Chris, maybe a couple others, but I was gone 50 days within 3 months, and I got 4 kids and a wife, and so not only there's a lot of stress on us to put episodes together, but you're gone from your family. I'm away from my clients and things that I do for my own business. So I mean, it's stressful. People think it's all dandy, but no, it's a pressure.
Full-time job. And then the other side of things too is at certain point in times last year, I had to physically stop myself. Like, man, we've hunted when we were in Kansas, we hunted 6-7 days and didn't have any, we had one opportunity and that was it. And we didn't have anything on the ground. And I'm like, anybody's going to be like frustrated if you hunt 7 full days in a row, but It's, like we said every single time, it's a real and raw realities of hunting. And that's what we want to base ourselves off of. And it's like, well, how do we make that an episode? Why not make it an episode? Because guess what? That happens to a lot of people and needs to be showcased more in the hunting industry than really what it is. Because before we started this, that's what I told Tyler. I was like, I go on YouTube, I go anywhere, I'll watch someone kill anything, harvest any animal at any point in time, and I can watch 1,000 of them. But how many are actually real, true, raw realities of what happens? Misses, mistakes, no opportunities. And so last year we showcased it all. We let it all out, left it all out on the table.
And not to get away from showcasing the hunting side of things, but as filming and editing, it's like, you go out hunting, you'll be out there all day, but then when you get back to the cabin or whatever, my work's just started. Like I'm dropping footage, making sure I have footage, backing it up, and then charging batteries all night. And then you get back from your trip, and then you got to put the episode together.
That's a whole nother ball game.
So last year was hard just because it was our first year doing that. And so literally we were making episodes on the fly, getting them out to the network to air, and doing that again the next week.
Wow.
Yep. And we talk to people all the time about it. And it's like, there's like the easiest way to explain it is everybody thinks that there's millionaires walking the earth. I mean, everywhere. And there are a lot of them, but it's like, when you look at the percentage, there's 1% of America that makes $400,000 a year and more. The rest of us are that 99%. And everybody thinks, oh, well, I go buy a Subway franchise and now that guy's a millionaire because he owns a Subway. It's like, no, he's working and struggling just like the rest of us. But it's like for the hunting shows, it's the same thing. There's a very small group that gets paid good money to do it. The rest of us are normal people with normal jobs. And, we film this stuff on the side and do interviews on the side and spend late nights putting together episodes and editing. I mean, we did a distillery tour. It was 2 hours of filming, and we're going to end up making an hour episode out of it. But it's like, how do you take these pieces and put it all together to tell the story that we want to tell? And that's one of the reasons it's taken so long to make. But it's, if we would work for a network and they're like, we need that, in 3 weeks, I need that episode.
Yeah, that'd be stressful.
It'd be super stressful. So to people that want to be in your shoes, it's like they would never make it, right? Because a lot of them just don't have the drive to do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of them think that there's a giant team of people behind the scenes making it happen, and you just get to be the person on the camera doing all the cool stuff. And I think a lot of them don't realize that for a lot of these shows, it's the same people filming and hunting that are then going back and dealing with editing and dealing with backing stuff up and fixing equipment and having to buy new equipment and
charging batteries and researching frame rates and figuring out which kind of lenses you need and why didn't it zoom far enough and why is it grainy? My focus was out on this shot. Next time there's nothing worse than getting a shot that you need and then going and looking at it and you were focused on a tree branch behind it. It's like
high levels that is crazy.
Yeah. And I'll give Chris a lot of credit too. Like, he didn't have to, but he wanted to help put the story together. So, I'd get back to my place and get the episode ready to get put together. And he'd come up and he'd sit with me and we'd, brainstorm and lay the story out. So he was a part of the whole process, not just hunting, but he did it all.
Yeah, we're 3 hours apart from each other, so it's not just a quick drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too bad, but
that's still quite a hike to do some editing.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
we live 45 minutes apart, and I don't like that drive. So
no, that's the reason we have a podcast studio in between where I live and where he lives, so we can meet here and we don't have to go to each other's house. So how did you guys get set up in the outdoor space? Like if they do have that drive and they want to make their own hunting shows, which I think we would all advise against, but if that's what they want to do, what advice would you give them to get into that world?
Research, and ask questions. That's what I did before we even started to kind of reach out to people. I wanted to know as much as I could before we, started pushing forward with it. So try to be set up as best you can before you start doing that, and know that you're gonna go into it and have to put a ton of work into it, and make sure you got that drive that you're going to continue to do it, because gosh, man, this is, and especially Tyler too. I mean, it's one thing if you're hunting, but when you're behind the camera, it's another thing if you're sitting in a stand for 4 hours or all day sit or something. It takes a mental toll on you. But
Yeah.
Like I said, we're learning every single day. I learned a lot here. Tyler learned a ton last year. Steve's learned a lot. Even though he's been hunting his whole life, he's over 50. But just within the network itself and putting a season together, it's a lot of work, and just be dedicated. If you're going to do it, make sure you're dedicated to it. Don't half what it. So,
well, just to dial in a little bit, you say research and ask questions. What should they research and who should they ask questions to?
Myself, I reached out to people that are already on the network, hoping to get responses. A lot of people never got back with me. Some people did, and very grateful for it. And, doing your research on it, like how long, an episode should be, trimming it down, what an airtime cost could potentially be, stuff like that. But more so the questions, on people that already have gone through it, got a lot of negativity from the start, and whether or not, some people I felt were being very genuine, but others maybe not, they're just like, we don't want another, person on the same network around, or whatever their thinking may have been, but I was fortunate enough to have some people, answer all my questions, and it really helped big time.
Yeah.
We'll double down on that advice. So we get the same pushback, like that's the reason we don't do a lot with the bourbon industry, other than we like distillery tours and we like drinking it, but like we try to stay more in the hunting side. And the reason why is because a lot of these bourbon pages, like, they feel like they'll lose followers or monetization or money, like things that don't even matter. I guess money matters, but they feel like they'll lose people by adding someone else to the group. Yeah. So we don't even ask or try to be part of it. We just kind of do our own thing. But we have a third business partner that's kind of along for the ride, more or less, but he owned a hunting show on NBC many, many years ago and knows that industry very well. And we had a company before this that we were trying to kind of do what you guys are doing. And he was like, look, you guys just don't have the free time, because we both work a lot, real jobs. And he's like, you just don't have the time to do it. You're not going to be able to. You won't be able to compete. And all the people you think you're going to get sponsors from, they don't really give you money. They may, like Bear, they'll send you a bow, but they're not going to pay you any money. And then you got to be able to figure out how to sell commercials, how to get airtime, how to do all this stuff. And he helped us. We were the opposite of you. He told us exactly what we needed to know, and we were like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that.
Yep.
So
hard pass.
So we kind of rebranded and started doing this, and it's kind of our way of being still connected to the community, but different. And now we get to talk to people that we would have never gotten to talk to because they would see us as a threat. You see what I mean? So like, we totally get what you're saying.
Yep.
I talked to your business partner before we started.
You want to tell him who it was?
Yeah, we grew within ourselves here and showcase, who we are as people and not be fake. The moment that I feel like, we're being fake, we need to stop what we're doing and just question that, but I don't think we'll ever be at that point. We've been best friends for a really long time, and, that's how we're always going to be.
Yeah.
And that's what our third business partner told us. He was like, look, it got to the point to where you had to kill in order to give it an episode. So, because that's the way it was back then. And so they started doing, they put their brand on targets, on trap kits, on whatever. So it was his brand, and then you could buy a target with his face on it. And that's how he started making his money. And then he got to this point that he realized they're not going to buy an episode unless you kill a massive buck on it. And so he sold. And it was a really smart decision. But now we're starting to see that kind of go away, where people can do exactly what you're doing. You're showing the reality. The reality is you're not going to kill a massive buck, probably ever. But if you do, you're definitely not going to kill it every time you go in the woods.
And that's what people relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we want to showcase. That's it. Just want to be real.
That's why we like you. That's why we've had you on twice now.
You guys are doing a good job of it. And we appreciate the transparency that you guys have and what you do, and the realism, I guess, for lack of better words. You know, it's like you said, you can sit and watch a show. There's dozens and dozens of shows, and you can throw any one of them on, and they're catching huge fish, or they're shooting big bucks, or they're having all kinds of success in the field. There's not very many shows where you tune in and they show the stuff that is not as sexy, for lack of better words, right? It's the long days in the field with no return. It's the missed shots. It's the trailing a deer for 3 hours and realizing you made a bad shot and maybe you don't recover it. I mean, that stuff resonates more with me because that's real. That happens. You know, my oldest son's first shot at a deer, unfortunately, we were never able to recover it, you know, and it was heartbreaking for him, but that was a huge life lesson for spending more time behind the weapon and practicing more and making sure that doesn't ever happen again.
We also live in a totally fake world where, you know, you can't really believe anything right now. So to be able to watch your favorite hunting show or your favorite thing that is going on, to be able to see it and know that this is real, you know, to me, it makes for better content.
Maybe Chris shouldn't kill it all this year, you know.
Then he would be doing what I do, wasting time.
You know, I would love nothing more to go out every time and, you know, harvest a great big whitetail. You know, that'd be awesome. But, you know, not going to happen.
So we discussed it last time, but I want to see if your opinion has changed. What is the best state for whitetail hunting?
Iowa. Yeah.
What's second?
My experience, I mean, last year we had a couple of really good encounters in Kansas. That was awesome.
Texas was up there.
Texas,
you know,
yeah.
Just the quantity, you know.
Yeah, just the amount of deer that we seen, free range whitetail and axis deer. That was awesome. I loved hunting Texas. I didn't think I was I knew I'd like it because I'm hunting whitetail. I'm doing what I love to do, but the moment we landed there, it was just a whole different. It's just, I fell in love with hunting in Texas, and I don't think there's a year I'll ever not go back. You know,
which I think we're going back again. And
that was because that's what you said last time was Texas. Because I remember that because then we talked to somebody else and we asked them the same question. And they were like Texas, and then neither of us have hunted in Texas, but we have mutual friends, right? That you and I that have ranches in Texas, and it's like I want to go down there.
Yeah, we've talked about doing stuff down there. We need to make that happen.
If you guys go again, let us know. We don't need to hunt. We'll just come down and add the Whiskey Whitetails flair to it, and I think it'll be great for content.
Awesome, I'd be all for that. And we go down there and hunt with a guy named Anthony. He's got an awesome place, and he's really, really cool guy. Yeah, really cool guy.
Well, if you ever go hunt anywhere and you think they would let us come, we don't need to hunt. We'll just come, you know, be support. We'll help film, and we can do whiskey stuff at night and make content for both of us. I think it'd be a really good time.
Yeah, for sure.
The place in general is an awesome place just for footage, and there's cabins that surround this big fire pit, and it's awesome. When we got there, we were all in cloud nine
and cooking axis deer.
Oh yeah,
man,
axis burgers.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time. I'm all in on that.
All about it. 100%.
Cool. Any other topics you guys wanted to run over? We've got some time left if you want.
I'm not sure. Probably not. I mean, we're packing up, heading home.
Yeah.
Right after this, we're driving 7.5 hours back to Michigan, and
10.5 for me.
10.5 for him. Yeah. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, we'll let y'all get out of here. That's a long drive. We appreciate you doing this with us before you head out. I didn't know that you had that in front of you. It's very cool.
Yeah, I like following along with you guys just as much, you know, on social media. So I like doing, you know, we do podcasts with a couple other people, but I like the last one we did together. So yeah,
and it was great to meet. I missed the last one, but
it's good to meet you too. Appreciate it.
All good, man. Well, thanks you guys. We appreciate it. Until next time.
I had a big red boxing glove right now. I just every day I'll make it quick here, but when we got to camp today, we're not hunting or anything, but we're doing filming and all that. But, you know, they made some t-shirts with my faces on the front, and I walked out here. They took the sweatshirts off, and they got this stupid t-shirt made, and on the back that they did to him, and they tried pranking me with snakes and snapping turtles today, and we're always pranking each other.
We're trying to incorporate more of that into the episodes and just having fun. And
that's cool. Yep, you gotta have fun, man. You gotta enjoy what you're doing. You gotta make sure that it's not. We had a conversation about this week because it's really easy to get caught up in the getting content out and are we are we seeing growth? Are we seeing the subscriptions and the likes and the follows that are supposed to, be indicative of growth? And it's like, it's really easy to get caught up in all that and forget why you got involved in this in the first place, right? And we got involved and we got to what we were doing with Whiskey and Whitetails because we enjoy hunting and we enjoy drinking whiskey, and we found kind of a cool way to bring the two together. And we kind of had a conversation about how we were finding ourselves getting all stressed and out and worked up over things that a year and a half ago when we started this business, we weren't worried about. And we needed to try and get back to that. So that's what you're describing there is rings very true to some conversations that we had earlier this week.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, think about how many people have a hobby that they spend thousands of dollars a year on this hobby, and we have one that's, granted, outside of what you see, we spend a lot of money, but the actual company itself, it doesn't really cost us anything, and we're taking it too serious sometimes, and we're gonna about to do the same thing. We're gonna start joking around more and kind of letting loose. We were trying not to look, I don't know how to say it without somebody getting upset, but we're like manly men. So to do like a TikTok dance is not really something that we would do, but there are things that we would do that would be fun. Which one?
Chris would do that for sure.
That's funny. Well,
maybe you could pull it off.
Maybe I'll give it a try. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a big hit.
Say it again. It cut out. Sorry. Say it one more time.
Might be wearing a dress while he's bow fishing.
Okay. That would be funny. That would be funny. Wearing a dress, drinking some bush. Sounds like a good time.
All right. Well, you guys got a long drive, so we're going to let you guys go. We appreciate you guys joining us. And tell
everybody again where they can find you and socials and anything else you wanted to know.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Trekin Outdoors, and on the Sportsman channel Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And then stay tuned. We're about to release our whole entire season on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Enjoy the YouTube battle. It's fun, especially when you can look at retention points and see when people leave, and you're like, All
right, gentlemen. Well, safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Cheers, y'all. Be safe. On the road, not normal, just to be safe. See ya.
See you guys.
Sorry for the audio thing. We don't know why I was doing that. I was cutting in and out as we talk. If we laughed or said, and then it would silence their mics. I don't know. Yeah, figuring it out. New stuff. New world. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Have a good week.